1, 2, 3, 4.
Mrs. and a mic, you don't need much more.
4 misses.
Come on.
4 misses.
Come on.
5, 6, 7, 8.
It's your favorite podcast, so save the date.
4 misses.
Come on.
4 misses.
Come on. 4 misses and a mic. Come on. 4 misses and a mic. Come on.
Hi guys, welcome to this 4 Mrs. and a Mic Minisode. This is CJ.
This is CC to the left.
It's L.
And Bree. Hi. So, what are we doing on this minisode? I know what we're doing. Okay, so today we decided it would be a good idea to finally connect all the dots and explain how the 4 Misses know each other.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
This is good.
Yeah.
Make sure you're writing this
This
down.
is taking
notes.
paper.
It's
Take
pretty
some notes.
complicated.
Yes, it's about to get confusing.
Make a roadmap.
All right, so you want to start, CC?
Yes.
Or CJ? Who wants to go first?
We can.
Because y'all were first.
Yeah.
So
you got
I
it,
think initially we met a really long time ago, like elementary school days, through another friend. And that's how we were introduced to each other, but we didn't really like each other in the beginning because I was hanging with the mutual friend and Mrs. CJ was hanging with her sister. So it was always like 2 against 2 for whatever reason. I guess 4 girls can't just be
I
friends.
guess to make more sense, there was a friend who lived out of state.
Right.
And every summer, this friend would come in town. And so normally it would be my sister and I and the friend hanging out. And then I guess Cece and the friend hanging out. We never all meshed together.
Right. And the mutual friend knew both sides. So then maybe it was just like a war of friends.
Right. I mean,
So
we were young.
We were
so it
kids.
was
I mean, this is
probably-
like 6, 7, 8, somewhere in there, right?
It was probably
Years
a long-
old or grade?
Years old.
Oh,
sorry.
okay.
Years old. Sorry. So then, as time just progressed, we ended up at the same. Miss CJ and I ended up at the same. Junior high school now,
Yeah.
because the grades have changed. So we ended up at the same school, and it was like, oh wow, this is a really big school. I know you. I remember you. You know me. And then we just kind of started hanging out because it was just a commonality. So I guess we grew up and matured.
Right. So this was 7th grade.
7th grade.
But the funny thing is, like, once we started hanging out, we just kept
Clicked.
hanging out.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
So this is where I come in. And do y'all remember how we met?
This is Bree coming
Yes, this is
in.
Bree. Sorry. This is where Bree comes into the story. But do y'all remember how we met?
I do
no
not.
idea.
Oh, good. So it's not just me who forgot. Okay. I don't.
So to be honest, Bree, I think you and I met because we had classes together.
Yeah,
In
I
like
think y'all
7th?
did.
In 7th grade.
Okay.
Yes. I think that's how we met.
That sounds.
We had classes together. I think the 3 of us met because I don't know if you all remember this little blip in our history, and we all joined,
Let's not talk about that.
a group in
PE shorts and
Oh,
polo shirts,
I forgot about
Mardi Gras parades,
Yeah,
and
we joined a little dance group together,
Yes.
and I think that's how the 3 of us
I'm
started
so
hanging
glad Katrina
out.
happened and wiped away all those
memories.
pictures. But yeah, so I think that's where I came into play with CC and CJ, and so then we started hanging together.
right.
And then somewhere along the lines, I became really, really close with Mr. L. Like, we became like BFFs.
But this is years down
This
the
is
line.
like,
Was this still high school?
this was still high school.
Okay.
So I think he might have been in his 10th grade year. So I would have been in like my 8th grade year.
Okay.
The school we went to was a junior high and a high school kind of combined. So
Right.
not to confuse people. And he was like best friends also with Mr. CC. So that's how I got to start hanging out with Mr. CC, like by proximity of hanging out with Mr. L. So it was kind of like I inherited these 2 brothers.
But I think it's important to note that Cece and I did not hang out with them.
Mr. L and Mr.
That was another
CC.
set of friends.
It was
right.
like 2 circles that I rolled in, but they never overlapped. And I don't understand why. It's not like y'all didn't get along or anything. It just never crossed.
But we still kind of knew them because we went to the school.
Right.
We just never hung out with y'all.
Never hung out. I
We just
don't
had
know
separate.
why.
It was weird.
So,
I don't really know.
I think the funnier thing about it though is that Mr. L and Cece and myself were in the same organization all throughout high school. So
Right.
we knew Mr. L,
Right.
but we still weren't like friends with him
No.
to the point where we would hang out with him.
We not saying what the organization is? Oh, okay. I was about to throw y'all out there.
It's okay. It's not a cult. It's not Illuminati.
All right,
We are
so we
not-
hope you guys are following. We know this is getting a little confusing.
Okay,
but-
so just keep in mind, like, Elle hasn't entered the picture yet,
Right.
but she's about to.
But let's tie in previous histories with L because Cece and L went to the same school in like elementary, like
Yep.
pre-K, K1, 2.
Yep.
But
And
never,
we knew the same people, but we never
crossed.
hung out.
Yep. Never crossed paths.
Nope.
Yep.
And also add that I was right across the street from you guys in high
Whole
school.
time.
Literally
And right around the
across
corner
the
from
street.
Mr. L.
Right.
And never, I guess, saw me or Mr. Cece because we hung
Right.
out over there.
Mhm.
Like, I don't know. It's very
That's
weird.
crazy, right?
Very weird.
Yeah.
And then to throw one more piece of weirdness in there. So even though me and CJ were friends early on, we never knew that Mr. CJ, well, let me back up. So Mr. CJ and Cece, which is me, are related.
Yes.
And we used to hang out a lot together when we were younger. And Mr. CJ's backyard touched Mrs. CJ's backyard. And we never met through that encounter.
Yeah,
Right.
neither did Mr. and Mrs. CJ, right?
So literally, guys, my backyard and Mr. CJ's backyard share the same fence.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mr. CJ's brothers used to yell at me through the fence.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, I stopped playing in the backyard for like a year because these two boys on the other side of the fence used to yell at me, trying to get my attention. Little did I know, we didn't find out until we were engaged that was Mr. CJ's house.
That was your brother-in-law's.
Wow.
Yes.
I told you,
Yes.
Daddy was so right.
Right?
Everybody
Wow.
crosses each other.
Yes.
Crazy.
So to further everybody crosses each other, my husband, Mr. Bree, he's integrated into this circle that we have now through me. But our paths crossed, and I didn't touch on this on a previous Minisode, before we were together. I used to work at a store in the mall in Baton Rouge, and he used to frequent my store all the time. Like all the time. And I guess he wasn't looking my way and I wasn't looking his way because, you know, he was in a relationship, I was in a relationship. So that's true. Was it Mr.
CJ's
Mr.
dad.
CJ's dad that said that you're going to cross paths with your soulmate before
You even know it.
Yes.
Wow. That's
Yes.
so true. I think.
All right. So how do we rope L in here?
So obviously Elle is married to Mr. L, who I previously explained is very, very good friend of mine and who is best friends with Mr. CC. So you guys met through a mutual friend who has nothing to do with any of
Yes.
this.
Nothing to do with any of it.
Who I do know though
Mm-hmm.
from LSU. He went there like after Katrina, I think, for a semester, something like that. Yes.
Yeah.
So shout out to LSU, go Tigers, which me and Ms. Cece went to together to just confuse you guys even further.
And Miss CJ was there for
And
a
Miss CJ
semester.
was there for a semester.
One semester.
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely, yes. So that's true. We gotta bring that in. So that is how we met Mrs. L. So when Mr. L fell for Mrs. L, he brought her around us. At this point, the groups had integrated. At
Right.
this point, my circle of Mr. CC and Mr. L had joined with my circle of Mrs. CJ and Miss CC. And this is pretty much almost when we became a whole happy family. Because the last piece of that puzzle is Mr. CJ.
Right. So Mr. CJ was hanging out with Mrs. CC and Mr. CC, and for whatever strange reason, I came up and he got my contact information, and then that's where that story starts that we talked about in our minisode.
Yes.
So it was really random. To this day, he says he doesn't know.
that.
He doesn't know why my name came up. He just asked about me.
Right, because he knew
And-
you for years.
Yeah, we've always known each other, and even throughout college we kept in touch because I think I was making a trip to DC with some friends, And just thinking, oh, that's, Cece's little cousin. Let me reach out and see if he's going to be there when we're in town. Never thinking anything of it more than just,
Hey,
That's my friend's relative.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
right.
So there you have it.
so we brought Elle in.
We brought Ellen.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
We brought
I got
Ellen through
I
the
came
show.
in later.
We're all confused.
We brought Mrs. CJ in. We brought Mr. Bree in. I'm sure y'all are confused. Had we not lived it, we'd be confused too.
Right.
Because I was still a little bit confused because I was like, did we
So
talk about
just
that?
go
I
back
came
with
in
pen
later.
and paper and listen to this podcast and just draw lines and
Yes.
names.
And if you have
Exactly.
questions, we'll clear it up. It's totally
Yes.
fine.
Yes, but don't ask Miss Cece because she's confused right now for some reason.
I'm back.
You're back? Okay, all right.
She's in it.
Okay. So I thought it would be fun. I know on our minisodes with our misters, we usually do like little trivia questions. So I'm going to shoot some quick little trivia questions out at the four Mrs. and we can say our little opinions and answers. All right. So did you have a big wedding or a little wedding? Who wants to go first?
I'll go first. We had a tiny wedding. We had about 20 people there, including Mr. L and myself and the pastor. So 20 people.
But they fed us well.
Yes, the food was very good, even though the waitress accused me of lying about my plate.
So
Like I was fat and trying to eat two of them.
It was small and intimate.
Very small
But it
and
was
intimate.
and
very
romantic.
and very tasteful, very elegant.
Aw, thank you guys.
Yes,
But
it
yeah.
was a good time. It was.
Yep.
What about you, Miss Cece?
We had a bigger wedding.
Bigger
but
or big? I'll say that for it.
It was
big.
medium.
It was not medium. It was big.
Okay, I told y'all that I am a little bit of a fairy tale enthusiast.
She had the whole fairy tale.
So I was just going for that.
Yeah, she got it.
Anyway,
I'll go next. This is Mrs. Bree. I'm gonna be honest here. I had a small, intimate affair.
I wouldn't
that.
call it small intimate. I would say medium sized, maybe.
Medium. It was like 250 people.
That's large.
Is that
That's
large?
a big wedding.
Is
Yeah,
that
that's
large?
big.
I thought it was like 500.
No,
That's not
I
intimate
think
small?
250 is pretty big.
I was gonna say Mrs. Cece didn't have 500 people, but you said she had a large wedding, so
Yeah, but I was being facetious about my small intimate. I think my wedding was pretty big too.
yeah, I think
Yeah,
it
it
was
was.
like I think you had a good sized wedding.
I had my favorite wedding, and that's how every woman should feel.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Exactly.
you should
Yeah.
definitely feel like
and
that.
Miss CJ.
We had a good sized wedding. I'll be honest, it was large, but I'll leave it at that. I won't lie about
My
it.
favorite part of your wedding was the music, which was also happened to be my favorite part of Miss Cece's wedding,
Yeah, the
and my
music
favorite
was
part of
good.
Miss L's wedding.
I mean, that's probably because she had something to do with the music at our wedding.
Yeah, just a little
bit.
part.
Good.
Okay.
Which we appreciated.
Right.
Yes.
Anytime.
Because she could sing.
Them pipes are gone, girl. Anywho, okay, so real quick, where was your honeymoon?
Cece went to Cancun.
Ooh. Arriba.
This is Elle. We went on a cruise to the Bahamas.
Ooh, all right.
Okay, we went to Riviera Maya.
That's in Mexico, right?
Mm-hmm. It's right outside of Cancun.
Mexico.
Arriba.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Mexico. We went to Maui. Yeah, it was everything. So if you can go to Maui, go.
Yeah.
Definitely was everything.
Yeah, we
I
had a
think the honeymoon
blast.
is very important. It solidifies the deal.
Oh,
have
we
to.
were so looking forward to it.
I
And you
think
need
so
to
too.
kind of decompress.
It just closes
Yeah.
the deal. Like it just gives you that final piece of like
This is
completion.
it. This is us.
You get like before everything crazy starts, you just get that week or day or 2 days just to
Right,
this is
that
us.
time away,
Yeah.
just the two of
That's
you.
awesome.
Yeah.
Peace,
Relaxing,
time to
intimate,
relax.
fun.
Yeah.
Yes,
Mhm.
definitely.
think
You
it's
know, try to
important.
don't make the honeymoon an afterthought. I think you should put thought
Yeah.
and money.
It's
And
like
if you have to sacrifice a little bit on the wedding
Right.
to have a better honeymoon, I think that's more important
too.
for your relationship.
Like
than
Mr.
to
Big
have
says
yeah.
in Sex and the
Right.
City. You have
And to be
solidify the
honest,
deal.
Yes.
It doesn't have to be to like some exotic
Nope.
island.
No, it can be
Just-
whatever you want
Right.
to do.
Anywhere you
Right.
go, where the two of you can be together and like decompress and spend time reconnecting after all of the wedding frenzy and prepare for this new journey.
Yep.
Absolutely. Okay, so how long ago was your last argument with your mister?
I'm gonna be honest. I really don't remember. I mean, Not saying it was that long ago. It's just we have such silly arguments. It's just like I don't really remember when it was. It's just hard for me to pinpoint.
I definitely don't remember our last one. And this is, I'm not trying to toot my own horn or say like everything's perfect, but I think it was because it was that long ago. Like we're just kind of right now, we're kind of cruising, we have it on cruise control. Nothing, we're making it.
I'm going to just sit this one out.
So
it was this morning, wasn't it?
No, it wasn't.
I don't remember exactly. Maybe our last big argument, because we don't have a lot of major blow-ups. Our last big argument was probably about a year ago.
That's good.
Yeah.
Did you use your argument box?
Nope.
Have you ever used your argument box?
I don't think you can think
don't
about
know
the argument
what
box.
the argument box is, but on a later episode when we're talking about proper ways to argue, we will explain what the argument box is.
It's because we have our retreats every year.
Oh, don't tell them a little bit. No, I'm just saying. You can tell them.
No, we do our retreats every year.
And they're awesome.
Yes, they're so important.
Which is how this podcast, I think, was initially born.
Right. I think we left that piece out. So
we have to go back and tell
we
that
do
part.
an annual retreat every year.
For a secret society that we're a part of. We cannot tell you anything more about it.
So the 4 couples do a retreat every year, and we've been doing it for a few years now. And from that bond, which has really, really helped us each as married couples, from that bond, the 4 Mrs. got together and started this podcast.
Especially because we all realize that if one of us or somebody splits up out of the group, we've all agreed that it would just dissolve.
Yes.
Because no new friends.
No new friends.
Yep.
So you can't bring the new spouse, the new girlfriend into the
and
group.
you also can't be the extra wheel.
If
by
we
yourself.
split up, we letting the whole group down.
Yeah. So we
dismantle the whole thing
to keep each other
Everybody
together.
Right.
Yes.
We're like
Gotta keep
marriage
going.
accountability partners.
Yes, that's the perfect way
and
to put
it's
it.
really true because I know I spoke previously on the fact that one time I did question whether or not I should have stayed in the marriage, and I reached out to Mr. L and he was able to refocus me.
Which is why it's important that you hang out with someone, not all of the same times, but I think it's important to keep some friends around you that are going through some of the same things.
Oh yeah.
I
think
think
that
that's important for couples
absolutely
to have
helps.
couples.
Yeah, not all the time. Not saying
Right.
you can't have single friends or you can't whatever, but I think it's important that you have that other group or that other person to bounce
And
off.
It is
asterisk,
important.
it's important to have happy couples around you.
Yeah,
That's very
So I think
Negativity can spread.
Right. And I think that's part of the reason why we all wanted to do this podcast, because we do know that there are people that don't have that, and we wanted to share our stories because we see the value in being able to share stories with other
Right.
married couples. And it's not just for married couples, but people seriously thinking about taking that step or being in relationships.
Yeah, because for some reason marriage has a negative connotation to it.
Really?
I don't know. Sometimes when you say marriage, it's ugh. I guess especially for guys, it's not a bad thing. It's just like anything else. You have your highs, you have your lows, you have your in betweens.
But
It's
I think
not a
if
bad
you think
thing.
of marriage as a journey you get to take in life with your very best friend in the whole wide universe, then you'll think of it as totally different. I think a lot of men don't maybe get that. Not necessarily they're all their fault. Maybe they're dating the wrong people, and it's, but just know that marriages are supposed to be happy. Not saying they're always happy. Not saying that they're not work, but marriages are supposed to be happy.
Right. And I just think that for our generation, they just don't see that.
Right.
Yeah.
That
They don't see
information
too
is
much of
not-
it.
Which
yeah.
is why we thought, hey, let's do something to show people that marriage can be this, marriage can be that.
Right.
And it's not, I don't know.
It's not all bad. In
Nope.
fact, it's not mostly bad. It's
Mostly
great.
good.
It's great. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like any other friendship you have with anybody else.
Except this friend is your very, very best friend.
Right.
And you get to be with them all the time. And I'm not even being facetious. I really and truly enjoy being around him all the time.
Yep.
And you get to sleep with that friend too. Anywho, so last question. What's your perfect date with your mister? So let me say this, because I feel like my perfect date when we were dating is not my perfect date now that we're married. So speaking specifically, now that you're married, in case
Okay,
you want
Miss, ask the question and answer it too.
No, but I didn't. No, I just want to clarify, because it's changed.
So mine comes with an even bigger asterisk in that this is my perfect date now that I'm married and have kids.
Yeah. That's what I was getting at. For us too.
Which actually would be different for everybody who's married and has kids. But my perfect date would be a date where somebody has the kids for the night. Mm-hmm. And it involves really good food because I like really good food. It involves something fun. So whether that be like a lounge or a club, something that involves dancing because Mr. CJ and I like to dance. And it involves some alcoholic beverages. It means that I can truly enjoy myself and stay out late.
Sleep late. Good. I need to date you.
Yes, stay out late and then go to sleep when I want and wake up when I want.
Oh.
Yes. That would be the perfect date for me right now.
So you almost named my absolute perfect date. I'm with you on like babysitter overnight. I think some really good food involved. So good conversation. My husband, however, does not dance. I'm sure he's not going to have a problem with me saying this because if you've ever seen him try to dance, he doesn't have rhythm, bless his heart. I don't know what happened.
Why don't you do my OVO brother that?
Well, listen, it's just not that I don't love him anymore. I mean, but he just doesn't. So we're not going to go to the club. He also doesn't drink. So as much as I would like to go like to a lounge or a bar, we can't do that. But what we could do is he will go like smoke cigars with me. So maybe we'll go to like a cigar bar. I'll have a cocktail and a cigar. He'll have a cigar. And then afterwards, we will go home and we will give it the best 15 minutes. You know what I mean? And then after that, listen, when you've been together as long as we've been together, you know how to get the job done. Okay? You don't need all the extras. The best 15 minutes.
All right, Miss Romance.
And then
just contradicting yourself.
I'm not contradicting myself. Okay, 30. 15 of that can be romance.
All right, either way.
And then
you do the do.
We do the do, and then we have really great sleep.
Yeah.
With no one kicking us or waking us up in the middle of the night because they're hungry or they had a bad dream, and we get to sleep in as late as we want, and then we wake up in the morning and then eat breakfast and then go get the kids and then back to real life. So that's my ideal date.
All right, Mrs. L.
I really can't. I mean, honestly, not to sound all mushy, but like anytime we spend together is like perfect to me. Like I just like being around them. We like hanging out.
Somebody get CJ her gag bucket.
Actually, surprisingly, I thought that was cute.
We just like spending time together. So we might get takeout and watch movies, be on the sofa together. Like anything we do will be perfect to me. I don't really care.
So take out sofa, 15 minutes.
All right.
I'm not going to get into that. So
Okay, Mrs.
I'm
CC.
not throwing my husband out there like that.
Mrs. CC.
So I think I'm with Elle on this one. We like to do a lot of different things. So I guess, I don't know, like just when we hang out, like we could hang out and go get a drink, or like if we went and played a game somewhere. I mean, like, just, I don't know. I think I'm kind of the same with you. Like just hanging out. It doesn't necessarily have to be. I mean, it can be a concert. Like we have good times there.
But do y'all want to like go out or you want to like stay home?
It depends. Like if it's been a long day, let's
Stay
just
home.
hang out inside, pick up some takeout, and watch TV. Or if it's like, oh, let's just go do something fun. Let's do that. But I think we just enjoy like being alone together because I feel like we're at a place where we're like, hey, how you doing? Good morning. See you later. Good evening. Good night.
Yeah.
So right now, just us being together is just a perfect date for us.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know. I think that because we just need to decompress when we see each other. It's like, oh, like, so that's us.
That's good.
Yeah.
Well, that's all I had, guys. That was cute. I hope you learned some more about the four misses.
And I hope we didn't confuse you guys too much.
If we did, you can blame Cece. I don't know why. I just blame her. Don't blame me. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, that's fine. I'll take it.
All right, guys. So we hope you have enjoyed this mini-sode edition of For Mrs. and a Mic. You can email us at formrsandamic@gmail.com. You can also hit us up on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. This is CJ.
To the left of CC.
It's L.
And Bree.
Bye.
Bye.